For this adventure, I'll be visiting the town of Bratislava, Slovakia, and you're welcome to come along. Let's go.
That's right, in this video I'm going to take you on a tour of the Old Town to see what kinds of interesting sights we can find along the way. But before that, I think I need to show you exactly how I got here in the first place. From Vienna, Austria, I boarded a boat called the Twin City Liner to make the hour-plus long journey down the Danube River. It was to my surprise that this pleasant cruise came with the added bonus of various castle views along the way. Drifting on into town, you will probably notice Bratislava's castle right up there on the hill. I have another whole video of just that place alone, so be sure to give it a view too. But for this adventure, we're going to be focusing on the Old Town. So after stepping off the boat, we'll proceed straight ahead and begin making our way right into the heart of it all. This Holocaust memorial pays tribute to a synagogue that once stood on this location. Along with it, you'll be treated to a display of information on the once important religious structure that unfortunately was demolished in the 1960s to make way for the growing infrastructural needs of the city. Just behind it, that is St. Martin's Cathedral, which was consecrated in the mid-1400s, though most of what you see now was built throughout the 1800s. Search around this area enough and you may find all kinds of interesting memorials dedicated to local societal contributors. Now, let's stroll on along and see what we can find as we keep making our way closer to the center of the action. Yeah, I know I just got started, but there's no way I could resist having a look at one of those local menus. And guess what? The sheep cheese dumplings with bacon, yeah, those things tasted even better than they looked. Now that we've had lunch, let's stumble on into the oldest shop here in Bratislava to take a look at their inventory. Venturing on up the street, we now find ourselves arriving at Michael's Gate. Constructed in the 14th century, this was at one time the town's northern entrance. But like I mentioned, I'm focused mainly on the Old Town, so let's get back to roaming our way through these historic streets. This large neoclassical palace was constructed in the 1700s. They say over the ages it has housed everyone from the archbishop to the mayor. Search around the public space located in front and you may notice a cylindrical structure drawing your attention. This is the punishing well. It was here that the condemned person would be caged and dipped down below to a watery demise. Speaking of water, look just inside the courtyard of the palace, and you will find this fountain of St. George slaying the dragon. This fountain of a lady pouring water from a pitcher is located in Franciscan Square. You may notice fountains like this all throughout the streets, as these were once used as public water sources. Here you can see the facade of the Church of the Most Holy Savior. This Jesuit chapel was founded by Protestants in the 17th century. And right here in front of it, that is one of those plague columns that you'll find all over this part of the world. Right next door we have the Old Town Hall. Its tower was built in the late 1300s and is actually one of the oldest structures found here. That palace we just saw, it's actually located just around back. To the left of here you'll see the Vice Governor's Palace, and right beside it, that is the French Embassy. And while making your way through this lovely plaza, you are sure to notice Maximilian's Fountain acting as a centerpiece to it all. Be sure to pay close attention in this area, as there are several whimsical displays scattered about. And you will definitely want to pay a visit to the most famous one, which is a man-at-work sculpture that was installed in the 1990s as part of a revitalization project. A little further south now brings us to that regal-looking building you saw in my intro. This is the Slovak National Theater, which was constructed in the 1800s in the Neo-Renaissance style of architecture. And all along this pedestrian promenade you will find many interesting works of art, such as a monument to a famous Slovak poet. Here we see a fountain featuring a girl with a fawn. And yes, right there behind it, that is a tribute to Hans Christian Andersen. If you've been following my travels, then you know I can't go without picking up a fridge magnet. And yeah, I admit it, I'm starting to get a bit hungry again. So let's stroll on about and see what we can find for dinner. All along these fascinating streets, you'll encounter a multitude of options that are sure to meet your culinary desires, and maybe even quench your thirst as well. It was at a fine establishment along this grand boulevard that I decided on a steak with roasted vegetables. Absolutely amazing choice. No matter where you roam, you're guaranteed to have a wonderful experience while exploring the historic streets of Old Town Bratislava. While you're here, you may also want to check out the fortification walls. And definitely don't forget about that castle up on the hill I was telling you about. Right now, I've got to make my way back down to the river and try to remember which boat I came in on. So until next time, farewell from Bratislava, Slovakia.